A New York appeals court has reinstated a gag order against former President Donald Trump and his legal team. This is the gag order in Trump's ongoing civil fraud trial. The four-judge panel came to the decision after hearing arguments from both sides. Prosecutors argued the order was needed because of recent social media posts from the former president directed at the court clerk. Trump's team rebuked the claims, saying the order is unconstitutional. NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalos joins us now with more on all this. All right, so the decision from the panel doesn't explain their rationale, but it does mean, at least for now, the gag order stays in place as they consider Trump's full appeal of orders. So what else do they have to discuss, and how is this right now going to impact the case, which is still ongoing?
Welcome to the difference between state and federal court, Joe. And I say this with some anxiety because these are courts that I not only appear in, but I'm going to be appearing in the near future. But in New York State, you're seeing a tale of two gag orders. The original gag order by Justice Engoron and then the supplemental gag order were both from the bench, extemporaneous, words that came out of his mouth. Now, the appellate division, after both sides briefed the issue, they issue an order that is basically just a few lines with no reasoned opinion there. Whereas contrast that to the federal courts, where you have lengthy opinions, explanations, briefed issues, the adversarial process at work. Because there's so little in the appellate division's order, to the extent that the Trump team can appeal this, that makes it, in my view, more susceptible to appeal. Doesn't mean they're going to win, but I've long said that Justice Engoron's gag orders, compared to the federal gag orders, are more susceptible to attack simply because they were rather broad and just sort of said from the bench without any reasoned written opinion.
So after the decision, we heard from Engoron, who told both sides he plans to enforce the gag orders rigorously and vigorously. He's already fined Trump $15,000. So if he feels the gag order is violated again, what else could we see?
Yeah, that order already came. The fine is in. I don't think that's affected now. I think that in theory, Trump still has to pay it. When he will, who knows? But going forward, now he can call Trump in for violation of the gag order and punish him. And that punishment, everyone knows, can start with money. It can start with an admonishment. But punishment, contempt, sanctions, they're a spectrum, Joe. They start with warnings. The mid-range is money fines. And at the end is possible incarceration. And no judge, federal or state, wants anything to do with trying to incarcerate Trump. They know that would be a huge administrative problem.
A former president in the middle of a presidential campaign. So the trial is still ongoing. It maybe isn't making as many headlines as when Trump testified or his children, but where do things stand right now? When might it end? And then remind us how the final decision is made here.
What's interesting is that this is a rare bench trial, and it's even rarer because so many of the issues were decided on summary judgment. Summary judgment itself is very rarely granted. I mean, the standard is very high. I've probably argued dozens of them. I could count on one hand the number of times they're actually granted for either side, for or against. So going forward, this is a bench-only trial. The judge will make the decision. The upside to that is we can expect a written decision as opposed to a jury verdict, which is just yay or nay. The judge will consider all of this, and he alone makes the decision, which will almost certainly be appealed if Trump loses.
All right. Danny Savalos, as always, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.